Santa Barbara residents know that the city is a leader when it comes to going green. The goal of improving our environment is of primary focus to the Creeks Division. Their team leads creek restoration projects throughout the city. The Arroyo Burro Open Space Restoration Project completed Phase 1 in April, but their work doesn't end there. Creek staff will keep monitoring the work as it matures to ensure the project's success.
Restoration of projects along the creek will help improve water quality, not only in the creek, but also at the beaches.
The project was trying to recreate floodplain habitat out here, as well as restore native diversity of plants to improve the riparian corridor for wildlife habitat. And as part of that, we planted 7,500 native plants.
We added some floodplain terraces in as part of this project, which will help prevent flooding downstream and also help prevent erosion in the creeks.
Among other benefits, the whole ecosystem thrives on the diversity of Arroyo Burro's new 7,500 native plants. They are the foundation of restoration, facilitating the resurgence of native habitat that was here many years ago.
As part of these projects, one of the major goals is to restore native plant diversity out here. The native wildlife, the birds, the insects, everything is evolved to live off the native plants that evolved with them. Having a wider diversity of native plants out here really increases the availability of habitat for native critters.
So we come in with a bunch of native plants and plant them out, and then we maintain them until they're mature. And then once a year we do what's called our annual plant monitoring, and we do that for the first 5 years of the project to determine how they're growing and if our weeding is good and what we need to do to improve it. In order to do the plant monitoring, we set up these what we call transects. They're just lines and we set the same lines up in the same places every year, and we do it randomly. We try to get different habitat types, and then all we do is go through and count the plants that we see, either bare ground, weeds, non-native weeds, or native plant.
And so we will be responsible for maintaining and monitoring that project site into the future to make sure that those plants get established and that they fill in and provide the adequate cover of native habitat and different diversity that we're looking to restore out here.
And the native critters are thankful. Higher up in the Arroyo Burro watershed is another creek restoration project at Barger Canyon. Completed 3 years ago, Barger Canyon's 5,000 native plants are promoting the return of native habitat, specifically native birds, whose presence is an excellent indicator of the success of the restoration.
So I've been doing surveys looking at bird usage inside of the riparian habitat. The riparian zone is the areas associated with the stream areas. Prior to the restoration efforts, I came out and did baseline surveys to kind of see what's out here, what habitats were being used, what bird species were present, nesting activity also. And then following the restoration efforts, I'm coming back out now to look at how things changed. Most of the birds that I've been expecting to see are present. Breeding activity already has occurred inside the restoration site, which was a little surprising. Just up ahead, there was a bush tit, a very small native bird that builds a small gourd-like nest, and it's actually nesting in one of the plants that was planted as part of the restoration area.
Restoring native plant and animal diversity is at the heart of these projects. While providing habitat for native species by increasing native plants is key, monitoring and improving the water quality in the creeks is equally important to these restoration projects.
So my role in the Arroyo Burro Open Space Restoration is to come in and collect water samples, have them analyzed for different types of nutrients or possible pollutants, and see how effective the restoration has been in terms of taking samples from the water coming into the restoration area and the water leaving it. So essentially what we do is we come in, we collect each sample individually. We will also take readings using a meter directly from the water. Over time, that'll get us a picture of how effective the restoration's been. So what we hope to see is that the water coming out of the project will be cleaner than the water coming into the project. It's really important to improve and maintain good water quality. It has huge ramifications for not only the aquatic ecosystems, for the birds, for the mammals, for the reptiles, everybody. All of them are dependent on water. So having that foundation and key part of the ecosystem be good and healthy, that improves everything around it.
Whether it's for the animals, for the plants, or for the water, the effort is worth the reward of improving our watersheds for all to enjoy.
This project is a fairly large project, just over 4 acres, but it's one piece along the watershed of a number of different projects we've done to try and improve habitat for critters, improve water quality, and just overall improve the watershed health of Arroyo Creek.
We have a new 21-acre open space park in the city of Santa Barbara, and it's open to the public from sunrise until sunset. It's a quiet, peaceful place to come take a walk or have a picnic and just enjoy some quiet time with nature.